Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan Nair. Basically, today we are going to talk about the Formula Word. That is basically 71th part, and till 70 we here discuss lots of things basically about the formula basically. And till now, basically we were basically discussing the sales basically what actually the sales is. One more thing about the sales we are going to discuss, that is basically educational sales basically you can say. Nowadays basically everything is basically, if you want any job, that also quality level work, then basically you need to be have a good education basically. If you have a knowledge, then also basically it's very difficult to get nowadays a job. I will take one example basically what actually the education is and up to what level the education is connected with the energy level, and up to what level the educational is connected with the. For example, I will take one example. There are basically many degrees basically in this world. One is the normal degree, 12th is there, 10th is there, BCom is there, BA is there, BSc is there, MSc is there, BTech is there, MTech is there, ME is there, B is there, then diplomas are there. Then basically many degrees are there. The LLB is there, doctors there, MBBS is there, MD is there, um, then medical is there, nursing is there, and then basically computer education is MSc is there. Like this basically MSCIT is there. Like this basically there are many degrees in this world basically you can say. So basically one person asked basically that few people says that we want this person should have must, this person degree should be must this. So what actually that means basically? For example, banking people says that banking directors basically who want to create their team basically. Banking director means you can understand basically text box equal to thousand cities basically. They are basically into product creation group basically. They are into product creation group, of the banking products. So basically their requirement is if they want basically few fresher people basically. They says that we will be basically going to train that people. So basically they says that we want IITs and IIM basically, and few MBA people, that also from this university. So what actually their concern is, why they basically their requirement is like up to this level basically. There might be some reason. The reason is basically I will tell you. Before this reason, I will take one example. Mm, there are basically mm, in banking industry there are around 102 ideas. 102 ideas means 102 books created by the people basically. So each and every books basically contains each and every ideas you can say. So ideas basically we can say the steps basically we can say how the basically banking industry is going to work. Banking products basically can be created basically. If you want to create one product of the banking, then basically there are many ways. Many creators have created their own ways of creating the banking product basically. So like this, there are around 102 ways of creating the product. So basically there are 102 books basically you can say, created by different peoples basically. So in short basically there are 102 groups in banking industry who creates the product. So basically this is the basically main formula basically we can say. So 102 groups are there in banking industry who are into the product creation. So there basically each and every bank, each and every basically people who are the hundred, who are basically telling that we are basically 102 people who are basically who basically created the books of the banking industry, investment, everything, and basically we are into the banking industry basically because we are into the product creation basically. Without we basically not a single product gets creates in the banking industry. That is basically one thing, right? So there are 102 ways, 102 ideas in this world, basically we can say, who says that we are into the product creation. So there are basically 102 ways. Again repeating, there are 102 ideas on the base of the bank's product gets creates. So there are basically 102 types of blood cells also, you can say 102 types of energies also, you can say. So idea is equal to energies and energy is equal to blood cells. Blood, which type of blood cells each and every people have. So they says that their requirement is basically they says that whoever basically want to join us, their basic should be very the 102 basically. Before this basically we will discuss a few more things. 102 people who have their blood cells, their blood cells change basically how they have generated the change basically. Their basics basically are the educational basically, which the how the educational is basically. So on the base of their education, the 102 people have created their blood cells basically, you can say. 102 people have created their energies basically, you can say. So basically the requirement says that if you want to connect that 102 blood cells and 102 energy chains basically, the qualification which is required, that is IITs and IIMs and MBAs basically. So whenever basically they says that up to this level basically percentage, for example they says that they want 90 percentage people of IITs and IIMs and MBAs into their product creation basically. That means actually what? That means this, that the people who brought the who have the 90 percentage, their blood cells has created up to that level basically. Their body energies has created reached up to that level. That's why they create they got 90 percentage. So after 90 percentage, the 102 people are telling that we can train them basically on the base of our knowledge, our examples, our practical examples, everything basically, which we are going to give them as a training basically. Then basically after training basically we are going to use them in a production in a product creation basically. So base is 102 brain cells basically has already created. They have created the banking industry, they have created the bank investment, they have created the bank each and every products basically which are basically into the banking investment basically, you can say. So they says that their base basically should be IITs, IIMs and MBAs basically. So this is the base basically. On the base of that basically, the banking industry, the bank directors basically that are basically 102 groups basically, you can say 102 basically who have basically who are the basically group who are the base who created the entire banking industry. So 102 people are the base. On the base of that 102, thousands of directors has been created, thousands of product creator has been created. So but the base is 102. So their requirement says that the person who have the 90 percentage above IITs and IIMs and MBA basically group, they should have 90 percentage. Then only basically they can take into product creation. That is basically text box equal to 1,000 cities creation. So this is basically the requirement. So like this basically this was like this they have taken the few people basically who basically are ready for the training, the who are ready for the training in the product creation. Like this basically what was this basically just now I talked, that was basically, you can say, the educational industry, educational qualification. But here basically what is of sales basically, here sales is of education basically, you can say. The education is getting sold basically, you can say. So the people basically who are into 90 percentage, who are into 95 percentage, their education are getting sold basically, you can say. So they are into sales education industry basically, you can say. Because banking people requirement is what, the requirement is 90 percentage, 95 percentage. So their requirement was this. So they were basically sold in front of the banking industry basically. So like this basically, you can say the priority are also decided. Like for example, few people says that we want Oxford University people, few people says that we want Harvard University people, few people says that we want from India colleges, that also basically very high qualified colleges who basically gives like who gives good IITs and IIMs training basically, who basically give the good qualification, or they're basically who teaches this all books basically that are basically 102 banking industry. From that banking industry, that also few people, few colleges says that we only takes this all this for 43 books basically. From this 43 books basically we only give the training to the people basically, sorry, educational to the education to the student basically. So just see basically each and every things are how basically it's connected because Harvard says that we give training to the student basically on the base of these books. The India basically university says that we give the education to the student of the IITs and IIMs and the MBS from this book. So basically there are 102 books. So 102 books are the base book which is already created. Like this basically Australia University says that we give the training of the student to from these books. Like this basically there are 102 authors books which is already created for the banking industry, and that is the base basically. So now basically here what is the concern basically? Now basically the education started, the people got the job, and like this basically one person told that uh, we can create product like this also basically. So that was basically something new other than this 102 ideas basically. So you can say. So that was basically 103rd chain which was going to generate if the person basically gets product gets approved basically. So like this the product was also get approved, and the 103rd 103 number chain of the investment banking group basically started generating. But here what is the what is the main basically, what was the main basically? Here main is 102 ideas basically which was created on the base of that where the banking and the industry got created. That 102 ideas basically have a physical location exactly same as xbox equal to 1000 cities. So either here basically I want to say is that the people who are 102, their energy basically was used in creation of physical creations also. So from that physical creation only basically the ideas of that 102 people comes basically, that you can say. So whenever basically they are thinking of the banking industry, each and every banking group basically whenever they think, their ideas basically of the banking industry gets from that 102 people basically energies, and with the energies basically which was converted into physical locations, assume that are 500 cities. So from that 500 cities basically the ideas basically gets, and then basically the people who are basically into the banking industry they thinks. So here the main was 102 people and their ideas and their energies which was already created before the basically the books was created. So 102 people's ideas was created as a physical location, and the physical location was, we assume that it's a 500 cities. So when then after that basically books was created, and whenever the basically books was getting read by the each and every people, whenever the books are read by the each and every people, the energies basically which was created long before in the 500 cities, from that basically the banking industry basically people whenever they read the book, that ideas gets into in their brain basically, you can say. So brain basically how basically that is basically power supply chain basically is exist. So on the base of the power supply chain basically they gets the ideas and they thinks, and like this basically education system sales industry is working. So basically formula is connected to like this also, and this also connects to the sales industry basically, you can say. So we will discuss little bit more about this in the 72 part. This is basically 71 part.